Inspired by Benatar is rapper Mistro. Here is Your Lullaby.
What was your pathway into antinatalism?
At an early age, I started visiting sites like the ync.com and documenting reality. Uncensored news sites that shows you videos from accidents, executions, and so on. So after watching a ton of that stuff, I started questioning how anyone could bring a child into a world like this. I was actually an antinatalist many years before I knew that there even was a word for it. Then I read the book Better Never to Have Been by David Benatar, which really goes into detail as to why it's wrong to procreate. And for me, the winning argument has always been the fact that there is no consent from the person being born to enter into existence. And for that reason, I've always compared childbirth to rape, basically. And I know that sounds harsh, but most people in general are never okay with forcing someone to do something. And by bringing a child into life, you're forcing this person to live, and it's just not right.
Yes, and then I suppose that they would say, once you're here, you want to carry on because of an optimism bias.
You're also vegan, which is displayed explicitly in the songs Let 'Em Loose and The Holocaust.
For the ones who can't speak, those who are too weak to fight back.
What led you to this ethic?
For me, it began with watching slaughterhouse footage, basically. Then I heard a speech by Gary Yourofsky. After that, I was convinced. Then I went vegan overnight, actually. No baby steps, no digital journey. From there on, I just realized that we're all just brainwashed from birth to believe all the lies, and now I'm just working to open people's eyes to the truth. I believe that the value of life is measured in the ability to feel, to experience pain, and for that reason all sentient life should be respected, especially all living creatures who can't defend themselves. But if you disagree with all of this after having watched speech by Gary Yourofsky, for example, then I feel that you're basically excluded and you don't deserve to be respected. That's how I feel, pretty much.
One of the songs is called The Holocaust, and for some they get very offended over that.
I just feel that the people who find this comparison offensive are the ones who view animals as less worth than us. Like I've said, I believe we're all equal, and for that reason it's a fair comparison, I think. Not only that, but I honestly think that the animal holocaust is far worse than any crime committed against the human race.
How would you like to get raped and forced to make milk, to be bald and have your hair made into silk, to be skinned alive and worn as a coat, to be hung upside down and stuck in the throat?
The numbers alone, to be honest, are vastly, in a day, much bigger than anything we've done to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And for that reason, it's much worse,
Yes, to not see the equivalence, you just have to believe that humans are a magical, supreme animal, don't you?
Exactly. I think, a lot of people just view humans as something, far better than any other species, and I don't think that's the case. It's quite the opposite, actually. We're like any other wild animal. I think it's wrong to view ourselves as better than that, honestly.
So yeah, you mentioned baby steps earlier, and you're being against baby steps towards veganism. Why is that?
Basically because, the animals does not care about your cravings. They don't care about what you're used to eating or anything like that. If we're gonna make a difference, it needs to happen immediately. I understand that some people find it boring to give up cheese or milk or any other animal product, but it's nothing compared to what the animals are going through every day. So the least you can do is go vegan overnight, I think.
Veganism really is just a moral baseline. It's the minimum we can do, and it's not, people who say it's hard, it's not hard. Just don't eat animal products.
Exactly. Yeah.
Simple.
There are so many, substitutes for meat and everything available now, and even if you can't find that stuff in your store, just stick to eating beans or lentils or potatoes or whatever, there's no excuse, basically.
Absolutely. I'd never met a vegan before I went vegan, and I just ate basic whole foods. Didn't have a clue what to eat. You don't need these special, fake cheeses, and I mean,
Exactly.
we certainly don't eat them. Oh, not out of ethics, just because we can't get hold of them that easily. And it's not some big deal. I don't know why people seem to think that you have to go vegetarian, first pescatarian, then vegetarian, and then, it's really hard to give up eggs and cheese.
I went vegan overnight. It wasn't a problem, honestly. It's just, I knew that I had to make a change, and I just, did it. It was easy, honestly.
It's not justifiable, is it, to cause unnecessary suffering just on the basis of our taste pleasure, That's what it comes down to.
I don't think we should take part in the torture and killing of animals just to please our taste buds.
Everyone should have the right to die a peaceful way. Those who can't stand to live another day. So your question might be, why not DIY? It leaves a mess and it's a painful way to die.
Final Exit speaks of euthanasia. Why did you want to draw attention to this topic?
I've always felt that we're, forced into life, so at least we should have the right to a quick and painless way to leave, basically. And I think we all should have this option, not only the terminally ill, but everyone who, feel like they're done with this life. Who wants to die, they should be able to do that in a quick and painless way. This life is not for everyone, just like any other thing, it's some people just come into life and they realize that, living is not for me, and they should be able to exit.
It goes back to that speciesism we were talking about earlier, where we're happy to euthanize and kill other animals when we believe they're suffering, but we believe ourselves to be too special to partake in it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing.
A human pregnancy is commonly seen as a cause for celebration and congratulations. Given all we've said before this now, how do you feel about such announcements?
Honestly, it sickens me, because usually they're not celebrating the person coming into life, they're celebrating the person giving birth. And I don't think there's anything to celebrate about coming into existence. It's just the beginning of a dish of life in a dishy world that almost always ends in a slow, painful death, basically.
Would you keep that to yourself, or would you react, openly, or what would you do?
I keep it to myself, I never tell anyone how I feel. I don't think that's, apart from my music, obviously. But yeah, when I'm outside or when I'm talking to someone, I never express how I feel. It just, it makes it worse. Basically, people don't know how to react when I tell them that, I'm an antinatalist or whatever. They just get angry and frustrated, and they don't understand. I've had people, come to me with their, holding their newborn babies. I have no idea how to react. I just, usually I just pretend that, I'm happy about it, and but it's really hard to put on a mask and pretend when I feel totally different about it.
One of my best friends said to me not too long after I'd met her, because I'm quite open on Facebook about being an antinatalist, but she has a son, a young son, and she said to me, so you hate him, right? I was like, no, I don't hate him. I don't hate children. I just personally don't want any more to come into the world, because it's a pretty messed up world. Once they're here, I'll take care of them and help them. I just don't want them to have to deal with the resources and competing with other humans.
It's actually the contrary, isn't it? It's a very compassionate thing to do, and you're concerned with their suffering. You feel sorry for this new person being thrown into the existence.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of people, think that antinatalism means, hating children or hating babies, and it's not about that at all. I mean, I don't have anything against kids. I just have something against bringing them into life. So for me, it has a deep root in, just a sympathy for people who are suffering, basically.
Yeah, on this radio show we cover environmental stories as well, so we're forever seeing really bad projections for the future, and it's going to be really bad. It's going to be very chaotic.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, what have these people done any research into the conditions of the future when they decide to add a new human into existence?
Getting a driver's license requires so much work. You have to go through so many tests. You have to, pay a lot of money just to get your driver's license, but anyone can just squeeze out a baby, and it's quite absurd, really.
How difficult it is to become sterilized as well. You have to jump through those hoops again, whereas, if you just want to go and make as many humans as you want, that's totally fine and dandy.
Yeah, it's it's insane. I don't know how it's over there, but in Norway you have to wait till you're 25 years old. You have to, go convince your doctor that it's the right thing to do, and everything. So it's really hard to get a procedure like that done.
25 is not bad compared to UK. We're talking 35 or 3 kids. Normally 2 or 3 kids. There's no way. I've mentioned it to my doctor a few times, and she looks at me as if I've grown a second head.
So
and I'm 25.
That's quite bad.
What they'll say in the UK is, even if you say, myself and my partner don't want to have any children, they'll say, what about if you start a new relationship and that person wants you to have children? It doesn't even come down to what you want personally.
Yeah.
It's this patronizing idea of what a partner may want from you in the future.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't get it. It's total insanity.
So you're clearly very critical of humanity. Do you think misanthropy is a rational position?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly don't see how anyone can feel differently. Sure, I see all the good things in life as well, and I think that's one of the reasons why I hate the human race that much, because, I see the potential in a lot of things, but there's just too much evil destroying everything that could have gotten better. And people are just so careless. I mean, just when I'm in the store, when I see people just strolling around with their newborn babies, filling up their shopping carts with the flesh of dead animals, it sickens me. People just don't care about anything or anyone beside themselves, There's just too many people on Earth.
And going back to the term misanthrope, it's used as a pejorative, isn't it? It's like, to call someone a misanthrope is an insult, it's a slur. And it's just, like you say, it's could be said to be a very rational position to, just look at everything around us and say, this species isn't doing very well.
Yeah, I don't think it should be, used in that sense. I think it's just a rational position. I mean, sure, you can close your eyes to everything that's evil, but once you've opened your eyes and just looked at everything around you, I don't see how anyone can feel differently about our tragic race, basically.
Yeah, so with so many issues to address, do you see your music as a form of activism?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good way to spread the message, and I'm inspiring and encouraging everyone to go vegan and look into antinatalism and take direct action against the enslavement, torture, and killing of any animal by any means necessary. I think it's a good way of spreading the word.
It's a very infectious art form as well, isn't it, music? Whether you're chanting a chorus or anything else, it's the kind of thing that can bore its way into someone's head.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, from my experience, the vegan community has, supported me after I released the animal rights songs. And some of those people are looking into antinatalism, and the antinatalists, some of them are going vegan now, so it's working out.
So where can people find out more about you and hear